Yes. What do you mean by table? Japji? Manasvi? What is table?
Table is the intersection between rows and columns.
Table is an intersection of rows and columns. Manasvi? What is table? Okay, Pragati? What do you mean by table? Table is just an intersection of rows and columns. It creates cells. Amarjot, why we use table? Anyone in the class who can give me answer? What
Ma'am, to store data.
To store data in an organized way in the form of
Yes, ma'am.
rows and columns. Okay, so table is an organized way to present information. Table is an organized way, you can note down, to present information in the form of rows and columns. We have the rows and columns. We have some information which is in the tabular form, like we want to present the name and grades of the students. So that is in the tabular form. We need the table in which one column will be the name, one column will be the grade. So that is tables. Table is an organized way to present information in the form of rows and columns. It makes the comparison of the values very easy, and it presents the information in a organized way and in an attractive way. So in HTML, whenever we want to create a table, we start with table tag. Table tag. Table tag is used to start and end the table. It will have the opening tag, it will have the closing tag, but only at the end of the table, when the table will finish, when the whole coding for the table will be finished, it will have the closing tag. Then we are having the tr tag. Tr tag is used to define each row of table. Each row of table. We know that we are having rows in a table. ठीक है, एक table में हमारे पास rows हैं, and similarly in each row we are having columns. We are having cells. So to define each cell, values of each cell, to define values for each cell, we have the tag, that is your TD tag, to define values of each cell. Okay, table tag is used to define the table, to start the and end the table. Okay, and tr to define each row in a table, to td to define each value of the cell. Then we are also having th tag to define the heading row, to define the heading cells. First row में जो values आएंगी, they will be by default bold if we define them with the help of th tag. Now I'm going to give the structure. अगर आपने ये note down कर लिया है, then I'm going to give the structure. Note down हो गया बच्चे?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay, for example, we are having this table, one column, then we are having second column, then we are having third column, then we are having this. Now this is your one row, this is one row, this is your second row, this is your third row, and this is your fourth row, as continuously. This is one example of table, right? So in a table, we are having rows. So when we do the coding, so we define the table, start the table with table tag, then for defining values for each row, ये जो row आ रही है आपके पास, हर एक row को start करने से पहले we will write tr tag, and to give the value for each cell in the first row we will use the td tag. For example, मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा है serial number. ठीक है, मैंने लिखा फर्स्ट रो कॉलम में, मैंने फर्स्ट वैल्यू में लिखा सीरियल नंबर. तो दिस इज द फर्स्ट वैल्यू दैट विल बी डिफाइंड बाय टीडी टैग विद इन द टीआर टैग. सेकेंड में हमने लिखा सपोज नेम. ठीक है, दिस इज योर सेकेंड वैल्यू. नाउ इन द थर्ड सेल आई एम गोइंग टू राइट सपोज ग्रेड. This is your third. Now, similarly, here we are having 1, here we are having 2, here we are having some name. Okay, here we are having some grade. Now, to define the coding, to create the coding for this table, what we will do? We will start the coding with table tag like this. Table. Okay, we will start with the coding table tag. I hope this much font size is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to reduce a little. Okay, now after table tag we want to define the first row, so I'm giving tr tag. This is tr tag. Now in tr tag I want to define the first cell, first value of the cell, that is serial number. So I can give td, then I'm going to type the text that I want to display in a cell, then close the td tag. All these are the container tags. Next, नेम. अभी फर्स्ट रो चल रही है, फर्स्ट रो के तीनों सेल्स डिफाइन होने हैं. टीडी नेम, then close the td tag, then again td grade. Now close the td tag. This is your first row. Now when I finished my first row I will close the tr tag. This is the coding for only one row. For each row, you will do this coding. Start the table with table tag, tr. I'm going to define the first row. In first row, I'm having 3 cells, 3 columns. So 3 cells will be defined with the td tag, td, first value of the cell, td, second cell, td, third cell, then close the tr tag. Now to define the second row, again I will start with tr. Now this is my table row. Now in second row में हमारे पास क्या है? TD, first value क्या है? 1. Close the TD tag. Now second cell की value क्या है? That will be Ankita. Then close the TD tag. Then third cell की value क्या है? A. Then close the TD tag. This is the second row and then close the TR tag. ये second row define हो गई. Similarly, we will continue defining the rows. As many rows are there in a table, we will continue with this type of coding. You can copy it also. Control C, Control V. Now, you just have to change the values. Now, मेरी third row define हो गई. After defining all the rows, I will close the table tag. This is a full structure of the table. First, use the table tag, then tr to define the first row, then td tag से first row के तीनों cells define होंगे. Close the tr tag. Again, open the tr tag for second row. Define all the 3 values of that row, complete row. Horizontally coding करनी है. Then close the tr tag. Then third row. This is the third row. ठीक है, मनस्वी, वीरन, अमरजोत, इज इट क्लियर? प्रगति, ईशान, वृत्ति, इज इट क्लियर? अक्षत, अरमान, ओके, हाँ जी, क्लियर है सबको? नाउ दिस विल बी द कोडिंग टू डिफाइन द table. Now I'm going to do this coding in HTML notepad and we will see how it will appear on a web page. Okay. Start the coding with HTML, then head, then title. Today I'm going to give title using creating tables. Where this title will appear? Where this title will appear? Anyone? Yes, the title which we define by using the title tag at the title bar of web browser. Okay. Okay. Body BG color. I'm giving the background color equals to suppose teal. Okay. And I'm going to define the table. Suppose I'm giving the top margin also of the page. Top margin equals to 50 and left margin also equals to 50. Then I'm going to define the row. Oh, sorry, table. I'm going to copy the coding from my board. Let's see if it is. Okay, no, it is not okay. Okay, you tell me what will be the first. First, this is table. Then which tag I should give? PR. Then I will give TD tag. First value क्या थी? Serial number. Then close the TD tag. Then second table data, that was name. I'm giving close the TD tag. Then again third, grade. Then close the TD tag. Okay. Now I'm going to close the first row. This first row is finished now. Okay. Then close the TR tag. This is the first row. Now I'm going to give the second row. This is the second row. Now I'm going to give the third row. Okay, third row में हमारे पास values तीन, serial number 2, then Babita, and third में A plus. Now finally close the table tag. Last close HTML. Sorry, first body. Close the body tag and then close the HTML tag. Save it. Tables.html. Save. Now go to the browser. Open the web page. Okay, now you can see this is table, serial number, name, grade, 1, 2, Ankita and Babita, A and A plus. But one problem is there. What is the problem? We are not having the borders of the cells. We are not having the borders of the cell. हमारे पास cells के borders नहीं आ रहे हैं. To define the borders of the cell, we will use the properties or attributes of table tag. There are many attributes of table tag. बहुत सारे attributes हैं जो common एक. First of all आपको border चाहिए तो we will define the border tag. border equals to, suppose I'm giving 3. That is the number of pixels. Number of pixels for the width of the border. I'm saving it. Go back to the browser and refresh it. See, now borders are there of 3 pixels width. Okay, borders are there. Otherwise, there are so many attributes that you can use with the table tag. First of all, note down the list of attributes. कौन-कौन से attributes है जो आप table tag के साथ use कर सकते हैं? I'm going to erase this and write the attributes of table tag. Everyone, please note down these attributes. There are so many attributes. First of all, we had seen the border attribute to define the border of the table. Okay. Then we are having the BG color attribute to define the background color of the table. Then we are having same background attribute to define some image as a background of the table. Then height. What will be the height of my table? Height and width I can give in the number of pixels. What will be the width of the table? What will be the height of the table? Then we can have the align, where the table should appear on a web page. On the left, right, on the left side by default aa raha hai, right side or center. Where the table should appear. Border, BG color, background, height, width, align. Then we can also have cell spacing. The cells of the table, जो table के cells हैं वो बिल्कुल एक दूसरे के साथ जुड़े होने चाहिए या उनमें थोड़ा सा distance होना चाहिए. To define the space between cells. To define space between cells. That is a cell spacing attribute. This value is also given in the number of pixels. Then we are having cell padding. To define the space from cell border to the text. Text और cell border के बीच में कितनी space होनी चाहिए? That means the space within the cell. Cells के अंदर कितनी space चाहिए? To define the space from the cell border to the text. This is जैसे ये 1 बिल्कुल साथ जुड़ा हुआ है बॉर्डर के 1 और इस बॉर्डर के बीच में कितनी स्पेस होनी चाहिए दिस a is again adjacent to the border और टेक्स्ट के बीच में कितना मार्जिन कितना इंडेंट होना चाहिए कितनी स्पेस होनी चाहिए दैट इज डिफाइंड बाय सेल पैडिंग नाउ ऑल द सेल्स आर अटैच्ड टू ईच अदर बट इफ यू वांट द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द सेल्स के itself आपस में कितना डिस्टेंस होना चाहिए दैट इज गिवन बाय सेल स्पेसिंग. Note down all the attributes. Attributes note down हो गए so that we will use them one by one. ठीक है? Okay. Go to the notepad. Now we had given the border. I can give the BG color. BG color equals to, suppose I'm giving some, which color you want? Suppose cyan. Okay, then I can give the width of the border, width of the table. Width of the table I'm giving suppose 200 pixels. Height of the table, suppose I'm giving it as 300 pixels. And align equals to center. Save it. देखते हैं BG color, width, height and align. कितना apply हुआ? See, height 300, width 200, border BG color cyan. ठीक है? Okay, now I'm going to change the values. Okay, now I want BG color some green. Then I want to give the height width. Okay, I want to change the height. मुझे हाइट भी 200 चाहिए, अलाइन सेंटर ओके है, देन आई एम गोइंग टू गिव द सेल स्पेसिंग. Cell spacing equals to suppose 20 pixels. Now you can see, save, refresh. Now the space between the cell, ये जो space आ रही है, that is of 20 pixels. This space between the cells, that is of 20 pixels. I can reduce. Okay. This was visible to everyone. Table cell spacing was 20 pixels. This is the space. Name और grade cells के बीच में देखो आपस में space आ रही है 20 pixels की. I can reduce this space by reducing this value, cell spacing. I'm giving suppose 5. Then save it, go to the browser and check the distance. Now see, the distance between the cells is now 5 pixels. Similarly, I can give the space, ये 1 और 2 के बीच में देखो border के बिल्कुल साथ है. A plus plus, Ankita, Babita, all are connected to this border. Now we can give the space in between the cells. Cell padding. Cell padding equals to, suppose I'm giving 10. Okay, cell padding, that is a space within the cell. Save it, go to the browser and refresh it. Now see, now ये देखो 1 और border के बीच में space, अंकिता और border, A और border के बीच में देखो सारे space आ रही है from the left hand side. Indent आ रहा है 10 pixels का. I can increase it, I can decrease it. Suppose if I give 20, अगर मैं cell padding यहाँ पे 20 कर देती हूँ तो distance ज्यादा हो जाएगा. See, distance और ज्यादा हो गया. हाँ जी, रिदम, जपजी, वृत्ति, प्रगति, अरमान, is it clear? मनमीत, Tanisha, is it clear? Any doubt? Yes, anyone? Am I audible to everyone? Sarthak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
बेटा किसी को कोई डाउट है, because there are so many attributes we are using. ठीक है, अगर किसी को डाउट है तो अभी पूछ लो. Suppose I am giving the border color also. This is also an attribute to define the color of your border. See, now border color is white. Okay, you can give the border color also. Write down the list. In the list of the attributes, आप list बना रहे थे attributes की, वहाँ पे एक add कर लो, that is your border color. That is to define the border of your color of your border. ठीक है? How many attributes we had used today? Anyone? How many attributes of table tag we had used today? कौन-कौन से attributes use किए हैं table tag के? Yes. किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है, but even then you are not giving answer. कृतिका, how many attributes we had used? कौन-कौन से attributes use किए हैं हमने? Yes. कृतिका, give answer. चाहत.
Ma'am, border color, border, cell spacing, cell padding. उसके बाद हमने किया है
border color, height, width, align to define the placement of your table. ठीक है, तो all the attributes we had used. Now one more thing, all of you had seen that मैंने अभी तक th tag use नहीं किया to define the heading. td tag से we are defining the values for each cell. Now if we want कि मेरा जो कोई cell है वो bold होना चाहिए, जैसे मेरे headings है serial number, name, grade, they should be bold. ठीक है, या बाकियों से कुछ अलग नजर आने चाहिए. For that purpose I can use the th tag. th tag कहाँ यूज करेंगे? Just instead of TD tag to define the values of the cell. TD tag की जगह मैंने use कर दिया TH tag. I can use this TH tag in any row, but usually we give the headings as bold, so I'm going to use it in the first row. TH tag. First row define करी. First row के अंदर TD की जगह data define करने की जगह हमने use किया table head TH. Save it. Now go to the browser and see the difference. Now see headings, they become bold and in the center. Okay, the first row can be defined with the help of TH tag instead of TD tags. So note
मैम
down
फिर से समझाना
बेटा
TD टैग और
ये
TH
देखो
टैग में क्या फर्क होता है?
TH tag will make the values as bold, will display the values of the cells as bold. तो usually first row जो होती है हमारी headings होते हैं they should appear in bold, तो यहाँ पर हम TH tag use कर रहे हैं. Okay, TH tag. Now as we were having the properties or attributes of table tag, we can use the properties with the TR tag also. हर row का color अलग देना है, so we can give the separate color for each row. So we can use the BG color or border color attributes for each row. हम हर row के लिए use कर सकते हैं. We can give, suppose यहाँ पर मैं TR use कर रही हूँ. I'm giving BG color equals to red. Now the first row will appear in red. Okay. Similarly, I can give the second row. मुझे second row का color अलग करना है. So I am giving BG color equals to blue. Save it. See, first row red, second row blue. जहां पर TR के साथ हम कलर नहीं डिफाइन करेंगे वहां पे जो टेबल का कलर दिया that color is appearing. Okay. नाउ थर्ड रो में मैंने कोई कलर डिफाइन नहीं किया था, तो कौन सा कलर आया? जो टेबल का बैकग्राउंड कलर दिया ग्रीन, दैट इज अपीयरिंग. यस. Similarly, we can also give BG color. We can use the BG color in each cell also. TH TD के साथ मुझे हर एक सेल का कलर अलग करना है, तो I can give, suppose here रो तो चलो ब्लू आ रही है. आई एम गिविंग बीजी कलर ऑफ फर्स्ट सेल दैट इज इक्वल्स टू, सपोज आई एम गिविंग इट एज येलो. सिमिलरली आई एम गिविंग दिस TD BG color equals to yellow. Save it, go to the browser and refresh it. फर्स्ट रो रेड कलर, सेकेंड रो की फर्स्ट वैल्यू मैंने TR ब्लू कलर दिया था, रो का कलर ब्लू है बट फर्स्ट सेल का कलर येलो है. सेकेंड सिमिलरली सेकेंड रो में मैंने कोई कलर नहीं दिया बट फर्स्ट सेल की कलर दे दिया येलो. तो इट कैन बी यूज्ड इन TR एंड TD, BG कलर एंड बॉर्डर कलर ऑल्सो. ठीक है, आई कैन गिव द बॉर्डर कलर ऑल्सो. TR मुझे फर्स्ट रो का बॉर्डर कलर चेंज करना है, व्हाइट नहीं चाहिए, सपोज ब्लैक चाहिए. सेव इट, गो टू द ब्राउजर एंड रिफ्रेश इट. ओके, बॉर्डर कलर एट्रीब्यूट डजंट वर्क, इट आपकी सिर्फ बुक में दिया हुआ है बट इट डजंट वर्क विद रो, इट वर्क्स ओनली विद टेबल टैग. टेबल टैग के साथ वर्क करता है, रो या कॉलम के साथ वर्क नहीं करेगा. हाँ जी, यहाँ तक क्लियर है?
मैम your voice is not audible.
बिल्कुल ऑडिबल नहीं है, सिर्फ आपको ऑडिबल नहीं है या बाकियों को भी ऑडिबल नहीं है? यस अमरजोत, am I audible? प्रगति, अरमान, मनस्वी, am I audible to everyone?